Hey guys, West Coast Taco here, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to get you guys an update on this Overland torque tune. It's been a couple months since I've had it done. Wanted to get you guys some better footage of some highway driving and more around the city. Hopefully this video will answer any questions you guys may or may not have still after my first video. So just filled up at the gas pump. I've noticed about maybe 1 or 2 more miles per gallon increased in my fuel economy. I think I've been averaging about 20 miles to the gallon on a normal trip, which is roughly 80% highway, 20% city. So just filled up right now. Let's see if the trip increases past 148 miles. We'll start driving. I highly doubt it's going to stay there. I'm going to assume it's going to land somewhere between 306 and 310. There it is, distance to empty, 373 miles. I don't think it's gonna really last that long, but when I used to get a full tank filled up, I was around 310, 309. So if you're wondering if the Overland torque tune does increase your fuel economy, I would say it does, but I don't think it's gonna increase it that much, but we'll see. We'll see how accurate this trip monitor is. So guys, as this video starts to unfold, I just want to let you guys know I do not get paid. I do not get kickbacks or anything like that from Overland Torque Tune for talking about this tune. We're not a partner with them. Really guys, for those of you who've been following my channel, you already know this. If you haven't, this channel is all about helping fellow third gen taco owners work through some of the kinks, some of the issues that third gen has with it, and just turning this machine into a smooth running vehicle that is what you would expect it to be straight from the factory. So been absolutely loving everything about this truck since I've had the Overland torque tune done, and my torque converter shutter has remained gone. In that video I did about this, talking about the tune and the fluid changes I did within the transmission, no changes yet. Everything's still on the up and up, and very happy with all the help I've gotten. So shout out to Q at Overland Torque Tune for doing this tune on my truck, and then to my mechanic Jason, also known as Speed Freak. I'll have both of their links in the description below if you happen to be local here in the Southern California area. I believe Q is based out of Santa Ana, and Jason is here in Vista, California. So great guys to work with. They're super knowledgeable, and couldn't be happy with the work and the results they've provided me with the things they've done to my truck. So today guys, headed out to the Temecula Valley. So all you guys down there in Southwest Riverside County and Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, this is a little shout out to you guys. I'll be in your neck of the woods today for work, and it's a really good drive. A lot of, like I said, about 20% city, 80% freeway, and it's a good drive to kind of test out this tune to get you guys some insight on how the truck shifts, where and when it shifts on the rev points, how it handles in stop and go traffic, how it handles like on a consistent incline on the highway. I hope it's going to be insightful and helpful for a lot of you. So right now, I'd say for the next couple of miles, I'm going to be kind of at these, like every 200 to 300 yards, have a stoplight. So hopefully this gives you an idea of where I'm shifting at. Where I had a lot of issues before in this kind of stop and go traffic where there was a lot of lights is that my truck would shift really quick and get too high. And then if I needed to slow down and give it gas right away, it would kind of shudder and kind of lag. So throughout this whole video, guys, I'm not going to be stepping on the gas. Maybe I'll give you guys a good crank at some point, but just know right now, my foot is on the gas at just a regular, at a regular weight or pressure point. I'm not doing anything odd or, aggressive. I'm just driving the truck like you would drive any other vehicle that you would drive in this type of traffic. So also without this video, let's see how many Tacomas we see. I feel like Southern California is probably known for being like the #1 spot to see a Tacoma. I mean, they're everywhere. I can't tell you how many of these things I see every day. Probably close to 100 Tacomas at least every single day when I'm driving. It's pretty nuts. One thing to make notice of, guys, on my tachometer is that when I drive, you'll notice that the vehicle pretty much stays around, 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs all the time. Which is nice, because I feel like we had a lot of issues as when it would be in that lower RPM range too quickly and the engine would bog down. And that would get really annoying really quick. All right, so right now I'm merging on the 76, which is kind of like a hybrid between a freeway and a little bit of a city, because you have lights in much further distances, or I should say intervals of each other. But it's a good way to kind of get you some ideas of how the truck handles when you are cruising for a little bit. May or may not have to come to a stop, and how it accelerates again. For those of you that are wondering, this is the light mild tune. This is the tune that your tuner will most likely recommend installing if you go with the Overland torque tune. And why is that? Well, essentially, I think there's 3 flavors, essentially is how they categorize it. There is mild, medium, and spicy. And honestly, guys, the light mild, which is what I'm running, it's a perfect blend for everyday drivers. If you have a lot of weight on your truck and it's bogged down, then you might want something like the medium or maybe even the spicy. But if you're driving around town and you have, no extra weight really on your truck, the medium spicy, that could be just a little too touchy. And for me, guys, this is perfect. I mean, I'm just driving the truck regularly, and as you can see, I'm not getting beaten off the line. I'm not even trying to get off the line quickly, but before it's like you'd be sitting here, you give it the gas, you go, and the other car that was to the right of you is usually, a good few car paces ahead of you. So for me, guys, this has been great. No complaints and no regrets. I won't be going back and asking for him to tweak or alter the tune. They did a great job with the light mild tune. It's a perfect blend. It's an absolute perfect combination for those of us that are looking just to get rid of that throttle lag, increase that fuel economy, get better shift points with the transmission. Before, the Tacoma just seemed kind of gutless. It seemed like it was kind of shy. There was like this beast inside, and you could feel that it just wanted to let go and do it, but it's something like was holding it back. This Overland torque tune cuts the chain and allows you to just have the full enjoyment and to experience everything that this V6 engine has to offer, that when it comes from the factory with that tune, it just doesn't have the capabilities to do it on that tune. And the funny thing is it's capable, obviously. Like this tune, if you're watching this for the first time, you're trying to understand what the process is for the Overland torque tune and how you get your vehicle tuned. The tuner essentially plugs his laptop into a port that's just right under your steering wheel here. There's no disassembly. There's nothing they do that's like intrusive. They plug their laptop in, they download the tune software, and it takes all of about 5, maybe 10 minutes tops, depending on if you need a TSB flash for the latest update. So once they do the latest update, or if you already have one, they download the tune and they start the truck up and you're on your way. There is no opening the hood and tinkering around with the engine and the transmission. Nothing mechanical is happening that we would consider, normal, like when you take it to a shop and they're doing work on the engine and whatnot. This is completely and totally technology related, and it's amazing that, for such a quick and simple appointment, how much it changes the Tacoma entirely. So if you guys have been on the fence about it, I understand a lot of the concerns and worries about avoiding the factory warranty. The really cool thing about the Overland torque tune is it's essentially not traceable when it's plugged into a computer at the dealership. Like, it doesn't pop up and show Overland torque tune. It shows the TSB, that Toyota would have updated it with. Now, if you go into the dealership and they update the TSB or they do something to it and your truck feels a little different, I would definitely call your tuner. That's another great thing about the tune. It's kind of like a one-time fee you pay, and if you need to have it, redone and reflashed, they can reflash it for you. If you need to have it put down into, the original tune that you had when you got your truck, they can put it right back to its original settings. So it's not a permanent thing, and then they can tweak it a little bit, or they can, change your flavor. So here we go. Now guys, look at that tachometer. This is a really good way to check see what the truck is doing. As you'll notice, it's staying right above that 1500 RPM. We're cruising around 60 miles an hour, and it's just a much better feel. And you can see the shift points are a little bit higher. The truck's happier. It's no longer fighting with itself internally. Everything just feels so organic now. A lot of times, prior to getting this tune, I'm sure a lot of you guys would experience it, you would see your RPM gauge and that tachometer needle just jumping up and down as the truck was trying to figure out what gear to stay in. This is so much better, and the response is immediate. Guys, just alone, look at that distance to empty, 369 miles. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's going to be super accurate, but before I had the tune, and even after the first couple, gas tank fill-ups, it would usually get no more than 309 to 310 miles on a full tank. Now, one thing to make mention of, I don't know what you guys run. I run 91 premium on my gas, in my gas tank. For my trucks, for pretty much all my vehicles, I've always ran 91. It's by the time I did the math on the cost difference here in California, it's not a huge distance or difference in the price. So I run premium. It's 91. I don't, we probably have 93 somewhere out here, but the gas station I go to, the highest they have is usually 91, and that's what I've ran. That's what I run, and I'll probably always run it because I haven't had any issues with it. Now, I'm not saying you have to run that. A lot of people run different types, and 87 is pretty common, I think, for the Tacoma. In fact, the tune kind of adjusts to the fuel you're using, so 87 is totally fine. You don't have to run 91, but I do. And just want to make sure you guys are getting the full picture here in case you're wondering what kind of fuel I'm running and have been running. So on a full tank, 309 on premium, and I'm still running premium, and now I've gotten almost 70-ish miles more on a full tank. All right, now for the famous freeway entry, merging onto that freeway. Let's see how she does. This is where I noticed a big difference for me, guys. Right off the bat, you're no longer lugging, you're no longer lagging. This is me just regular throttle. I'm not mashing it, just letting the truck do its thing. And just like that. No problems, no sweat. I don't know if you guys caught all of that, but man, the truck just sounds so good now. So organic. It's perfect. No more struggling to keep up with the flow of traffic. Nothing. what a difference. It's night and day. Bit of an incline here. This is like a good steady incline. This is a really good example. You don't see the truck gear hunting. The tachometer staying right around 2,500. Let it drop one gear as we get a little more deeper into this incline. And she's climbing. Easy day. And the truck doesn't even feel like it's really working, it's just cruising. Guys, before this little incline, and then steady, you guys saw that. I mean, it's about a mile, 3/4 of a mile long of just steady incline. The truck would be going all over the place. It would be in 6th, 5th, 4th, back into 5th. It is just cruising. Here we are, still in the far left lane. Guys, keep in mind I'm running a 265/75 R16 BF Goodrich KO2. That's an E-rated tire, so we got heavier tires. I have the TRD lift kit, which is a 2-to-1 lift. And still, gas mileage is doing great. All right, now as we make our descent into the valley, you'll still notice that even going downhill, the truck isn't trying to shift up into the highest gear possible. We're going 78 and sitting right around 1,900 to 2,000 RPMs. No gear hunting, no gear dancing. Makes my trips into here when I do come out here so much more enjoyable. Even just around town, guys, the Overland Torque Tune has just transformed this truck. I'm not sure if you can pick up on that from the way I've been talking about it since I've got it. But absolutely love the tune. It's brought the Tacoma to life. All right, so I'm gonna get off here at the next couple of exits, and I'll do a little recap and hit up a couple of small things just to kind of go over any little items that I've seen people ask me questions about, and wrap this video up. All right, guys, so there you have it. If you guys have any questions, throw it in the comments section. Be more than happy to help and answer those questions. Like I said in my last video, and just to go over them real quickly, the Overland Torque Tune does not void your warranty just because it's not traceable or trackable with Toyota. I mean, obviously, if something happens and they find out you have a tune on your truck, obviously there's things that you'd have to jump through in regards to hurdles of doing that. But this tune is not traceable when they plug it in to their TSP computer. So no worries there. In my opinion, guys, it makes the truck drive better. In my opinion, it's actually providing a longer life to your transmission and to your engine because it's now able to actually function you know, for a lack of better words, correctly. I feel like it's only healthier for these components to be shifting in a more organic fashion than gear hunting like crazy, and going up and down and just everything that it does. So in my opinion, guys, doing this will only add life and enjoyment to your 3rd gen Tacoma. You guys saw the gas mileage increase I've had. Like I said, on a full tank before, I was getting about 309 miles on a full tank. Now it's showing closer to 370, which is pretty crazy. Averaging on that trip you just saw between 18 miles per gallon on the way home, which is more downhill. I'm closer to 21 miles to the gallon. So not too shabby, all things considered. But just wanted to get you guys an update. I owed you guys some feedback. Wanted to have this for a couple months, go through a few gas tanks to kind of really get a better feel of how the tune improved everything, not just the actual shifting and driving of the truck. But guys, the longer you wait to get this tune, the more you're just gonna wish you would have had it sooner. That was the case for me, and it's been the case, I think, for a lot of other 3rd gen owners as well. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. It's been a longer video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, any questions, throw them in the comments section. Looking forward to the next one. Talk to you soon. See ya.